there, my name is Fanny Kuhn and I'm from RaceID here to give you some tips on how you can market your endurance race, both online and offline, because usually when we speak to a lot of organizers in your community, the biggest challenge they have is usually how do I get more participants and how do I market my race to the masses and finding these participants. So that's what we'll talk about today. So hopefully you'll get some good content out of this and you can get out there, create your content and get your race out to more people. I think the most important to start with is to actually sit down and think a little bit. You have to think about who is this race for? Like, who is your target racer? It's usually easier to think of a person. What do they look like? What is the person's name and what do they like to do? Like, is it for the elite athletes or is it also for beginners? Maybe beginners is not for your race and no beginners can do it. So really think of what type of athlete is your race for. And then decide 3 to 5 unique things about your race that you really think that this makes my race different, and write those down. And then you also have to think about this person that you've created or this ideal racers. Where are they? Where can you find these people? Where do they spend their time, both offline and online? The next step, after you've really thought of your ideal audience, then you need to create content and create ways to actually tell people about your race. So you can do this in different ways and formats. And here are some tips. You can do it in written texts, like you can use it in emails. You can write these 3 to 5 things out in a nice way, a nice copy, a catchy way that helps people really, like it should not be sentences, rather short than long, and just really pinpoint these things from the participant's perspective. Like you want to write it in you format, so like this is what you can get out of this race, not really what I do to promote the race, but rather what do the participants get out of this from their point of perspective. And another important content piece nowadays is video. I would say like you should at least have one highlight video of your race, something that people use more and more than reading nowadays. So if you can get out in video in social media, for example, it's very important. So try to create at least one video for your race. And photos, of course, if you can get a photographer to one of your races, you have a lot of value for that the next year. Or you can collect photos from participants, maybe have an assistant there that helps you take photos. If you haven't done an edition of your race yet, you can also just go out and take photos of the course, because landscape and the environment of the race is usually why people go to your race in the first place. So then, of course, you can create a nice logo. We have a great article on our website also that tells you how you can create a nice logo for your race, and some graphics could be good. Also, a really good piece of content is reviews from participants. So try and get people to write reviews for you that you can quote in text or in video, even better. And then also other content that you can create is different promotions, maybe partnerships with other races or other brands, and early bird pricing and special campaigns that you can use to communicate value and benefit. You have to think about what channels to use. This, again, think about your ideal participants and where they are, and then you can decide where you think that you can reach them. So here are just some examples. You can use platforms and calendars, so like the RaceID calendar, for example. You can go in there and put in your race for free, and you can get visibility to a lot of people that go on that platform. And there are many other race calendars out there, sports specific ones that you can usually write to be a part of. Is really good because that's a very targeted platform for your type of participants. You can do email marketing, which is very good to email the participants that were at your race last year, or if you have some training groups or email addresses that you can reach. Then a very important channel for racing and outdoors in particular is social media. So choose a few channels, maybe Instagram and Facebook, the most popular ones, and try and produce some content there regularly. A good tip there is to use a content planner. You can then just make all your posts on your computer. You can sit down the first of each month and do all your posts for the whole month and schedule them, so you don't have to think about it every day and feel the stress that you need to post about your race all the time. So you can also do some paid online advertising to further boost if you have a budget for it. It's usually pretty easy to get started on Facebook, Google search, or Instagram ads as well. To boost your post, you pay money to Facebook for them to show it to more people. It's usually a good way because nowadays you don't get so much spread on organic, so it's like free content anymore. So it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be $50 and you get a lot of extra reach for that, and you can decide which audiences you want to reach. But we'll do another video on paid advertising also, so you know a little bit more how to do that for your race. And then you can look for local media outlets and PR. Maybe you have some local partners. Maybe you can put a flyer in local shops for your race, or partner with some other vendors in your local community. Also do different types of partnerships with brands. For example, if you're a sponsor and you can make a deal to promote each other to each other's audiences, if that is fitting. You can also use your participants to market. You can give them an incentive to refer your race to other people. Don't forget to also boost the marketing on race day, because on the race day is where you get the most media attention. So make sure that you use your social media account. Have someone, if you don't have time as a race director, maybe you can have your relative or a friend do the social media on the day and send them pictures. It's usually really good to use this on race day, and you can save it later for all the content, and have media write about you, post about it, showcase your live results in your social media feeds. There's so much you can get out of all the buzz that is created on race day. Last but not least, don't forget to measure your efforts. Like most social media tools have analytics that you can check afterwards. So what type of content worked the best, what emails had the most open rate. So you can learn from this year, like what worked and what did not work. This will save you so much time for next year, when you can start from somewhere where you know that some things works and those things that you should do more about. So yeah, I think that was a lot, and I hope that you got some inspiration from it. But don't hesitate to ask us at RaceID. We're happy to help you promote your event as well. We are here to help you.